The playoff semifinals are finally here for the very first season of Bubby's Ultimate Battle League, and Playmore is taking on the Thunderclap Titans, coached by the Uzi Gunner. This is a team we have faced off against many times before, and the last time these two teams met, Tyler, we unfortunately lost and missed the playoffs. Whoever won that battle made the playoffs, and now whoever wins this battle makes the championship. The stakes are high, and we need to get revenge.
And John, if you go by the playoff seeding, Uzi's got a squad that would be favored to win this matchup. I don't know anything about who the odds favor or how any of that works. Don't ask me about it. But when you look at what this team has, it's pretty clear why Uzi was able to have such a successful regular season. Not just threats across the board, John, but two of the top 4 kill leaders from the regular season in Darkrai and that dangerous Dolphin.
We know Darkrai quite well. That was a former MVP of ours. And now to face off against it with the championship, well, a championship berth on the line. Darkrai there as we tried to battle for a championship last season. A lot of history with that Pokemon, but we're gonna have to break through that and a lot of other Pokemon. But you know what, Tyler? Once upon a time, I tried to get the coach to draft Darkrai over Greninja. Greninja was picked before we even had a chance to make that decision. And now Greninja's on the team. And that's where it should have been in the first place. So I think it's time for a Bubby to show why it's superior as we hopefully make our way to the championship. Tyler, I said all of that. You need to now tell me that Bubby is on the team.
Well, as you can see with the team being shown on the screen, not just his Bubby here, but he's brought the whole squad. He's got the backup. He's got Spiky Joe. He's got the red line. He's even got Wide Lens, the superior that's not holding a wide lens. If you want to know why the Beneral has made that brilliant decision and everything else that's gone into this battle, you can find the extended team builder. It's linked in the description below. For now, let's go see what the opponent brought.
This is it, Tyler. The battle that will decide who goes on to the championship with a chance to bring home that trophy. And we don't have to go against Palafin. Look at that. That's crazy. Wow, that is really, really nice to see. I will say the Hitmonlee is a little bit scary with all of my Draft League experience. That's one of those Pokemon that you know when you see it, it will be unburdened and it will try to ruin all of your plans. Or it could be a dud. It's kind of like the biggest boom or bust Pokemon. So that's something to keep an eye on. But Terra Captains, there are a lot of them. Tell me about them.
This has been a surprisingly rare occurrence this season where both teams actually bring both Terra Captains. On the other side, Terra Fairy, Zapdos, and Water Riperior, which something Ben had told us he was a bit concerned about and getting ready for this battle. On our side, Terra Water Volcanion, something that we've seen a couple of times, and an offensively based grass-type Terra Superior that is built just to deal out Leaf Storms. And John, I like to think that we're bringing an honorary third Terra Captain for this game because I've got my limited edition Bubby ready to clutch the entire time.
Well, I'm so glad you brought up the limited edition Bubby, Tyler, as Play-More.store. It's the sponsor of this team, and we have had confirmation that there will be a new Bubby made in the future, a new merch drop. It's getting worked on. I can't say too much now. There are still regular Bubbies that you can buy at the store right now, but at some point in the near-ish future, there will be new things to grab. You gotta have a Bubby with you to support this team. But Tyler, enough of talking about that adorable little frog. It's time to focus on the battle-ready frog.
All right, we know on our side we're getting Wide Lens, the superior, that's not holding the wide lens, but won't miss a move anyways. On the other side, there's the Hitmonlee that barely showed up in the regular season, John, but we were still terrified about this thing potentially showing up in this battle.
But not as a lead. I wasn't worried about it or even imagining it could be a lead, as you generally see Hitmonlee as an unburdened late game sweeper to clean up, usually like a little fake out action, or just, I mean, I guess you could also do something with the grassy terrain, but just things that you see later in the battle, regardless of what it is. And I can't imagine that's what we're gonna see here, unless it can unburden sweep us and we're going straight for the kill. I don't know, what do you see, Tyler?
Well, the only other thing that comes to mind is something we've seen from our side, and that's the Reckless Staraptor. And with Staraptor, you always think of Intimidate, but it's got that Reckless in the back to deal out some extra damage with the recoil moves. High Jump Kick, Hitmonlee's signature move, technically counts as a recoil move, even though it only does the recoil if you happen to miss it. We won't know the Unburden anyway because it doesn't trigger anything. But there we still see the high jump kick and that.
Okay.
We lived. It did a ton. We lived. John, I still don't know if that answers the question about the ability. And with the switching here, we're still not going to find out.
No, but as soon as you said Reckless, the gears were turning, right? This is going to be Focus Sash. It's going to be Reckless. We're going to lose our potential win con. It's down in a bad spot, but here's actually the thing, Tyler. Regardless of it's Unburden or Reckless, we have to switch because there is a chance for priority from the Hitmonlee, right? There is still a chance it takes us out here. But if it's not Unburden, this will be a lot easier to revenge kill. It doesn't have the Focus Sash. Well, we should be able to outspeed it. But if it is Unburden, then ideally Spiky Joe's going to be able to live the hit a little bit better. We do have the Citrus Berry there. We're going to find out here what's going on, but if we could see a little priority, not do so much damage, ideally we can come back in a big way, especially with that Intimidates. The Endeavor.
What a lead.
Wow.
For a Pokemon that was brought to one battle in the regular season. What an opening strategy. Like you said, it already throws you off to see a Hitmonlee out there when it's a Pokemon that you usually save until the end to use the sweeper, but not just to come out with, again, potentially the Reckless High Jump Kick, but to have the Endeavor to pair.
Yeah.
In case of the switch.
No, that's
wow.
It's really brilliant. And I mean, I don't think we even know if it's an Unburden or if it is Reckless. Reckless makes sense there. But I think just with that, like, the mind games there of, okay.
And with no speed investment on the Overquill, no matter what, if we stay in and attack both ways, we won't find out anything with the speed.
Gosh. I think this has to be Reckless. Ben was worried about whether it be Unburden or the priority. You can't lose Superior there. And Uzi was able to make the bold play. I think Uzi was fine to lose the Hitmonlee there. It did what it needed to do. Threw Ben off, got crazy damage on Superior. Our win con for the battle. He can go for Endeavor. But then once he catches Overquill with the Endeavor, now Uzi can just go for another high jump kick. Nothing to worry about there. But I think unfortunately with whatever we bring in, I think we're going to see it outspeed this Hitmonlee, and it's just really going to have been the perfect lead Pokemon for Uzi, the perfect disruptor. There's something so powerful, Tyler, when it comes to a Draft League battle of having a Pokemon that you're willing to let die. We had that with the Staraptor, and it can just mess up plans. And sometimes, especially with something like Endeavor, you can get way more than you bargained for because you're playing with house money. And all of a sudden, we are way behind the 8-ball here. And I think the biggest thing is, Tyler, I don't think Uzi cares if he loses Hitmonlee here. This thing was always meant to go down early.
No, I think the full thought process now on Ben's side with the rapid spin is try to prep up for whatever could come next. Potentially in that spot before the rapid spin, might have seen the Darkrai. I think now Riperior is the move, and that's exactly what we get. And now we have this Riperior that we know from our notes can do so many different things and just be an absolute wrecking ball in this battle. We don't know, John, whether this is going to be a rock polish set, if it's an assault vest set that we're going to see. All that we know about this thing is that it has the potential, while not being the huge offensive threat that this team has so many offensive threats, it can really stall things out for us to try and find an answer for it.
I'm worried that Uzi was willing to get rid of the Hitmonlee early to set up something to sweep. And if that is this, as we're going for Stealth Rocks, we are in big trouble. I'm really hopeful Ben is calling this right and it's not a setup sweep Riperior, as it's not. Oh my God. Okay, Tyler, that I think is huge. We see the sigh of relief from the coach. That was big. We get Stealth Rocks up. wrap or knockoff here makes sense to get rid of the item. We have a little bit of time to figure out what's going on.
It's a weird one because in that spot as we get another miss. If you're the Beneral looking to switch, I don't know if you would have preferred the Dragon Tail and the switch versus now with the damage that this thing can output. Obviously, now you would have to take a big gamble if you're switching around into Staraptor, for example, and hope that you don't get, or that you do get a ground move in that case. Would you have preferred the free switch, or now I think you're almost in a spot where it's just going to be trading damage until most likely Treads goes down? Unless you just make the prediction of a lifetime, and with the spot this battle is at, it may be worth having to try that.
Yeah, I think the really unfortunate thing is I was like kind of thinking through like, man, maybe we did want that Dragon Tail to hit. Whenever we bring in the Riperiors, that's so low HP, you know, you kind of want to be able to go for that Giga Drain to get HP back.
Yeah.
But the opponent's almost definitely going to switch into a Rillaboom, into a Zapdos, where all of a sudden our damage is going to be so minimal. So I actually do love like staying in, just getting damage on this Riperior. It doesn't have Citrus Berry. It's going to be really difficult for our other Pokemon to take it down. But if we can weaken this thing and get it out of the way, ideally we can cobble together a winning strategy with the speed of Greninja, Staraptor, and then of course it's Superior. We're not in a great position, but the fact that Uzi did not take advantage of that, you know, Hitmonlee just disaster kerfluffle there and immediately bring in something to try to set up and just obliterate our team does make me feel a little bit better. It's not great to be in against this Riperior. We're almost definitely losing another Pokemon, but I think whittling this thing down could put us hopefully in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, we know the Riperior. I mean, offensively, it can do some stuff. It doesn't seem to be one of the setup potentials. It just makes you start to think, okay, sitting in the back waiting is gonna be Darkrai, and how do we reach a point where we can start force any kind of issue to get that thing in to chip away at it? Otherwise, if it sits in the back at full health, it's going to be hard to overcome that. We've talked about this all season long of keeping those win cons in the back and healthy. We do not have that luxury on our side outside of Bubby potentially. It was not the main win con. The main win con was Superior. It's down to 5 HP. How do we force the issue and get Darkrai out to force some damage in before it can get set up itself and end this battle?
And it's really tough because it brings up, you know, the reasons I was so in love with Darkrai last season. I mean, the thing outspeeds Greninja. It's the fastest Pokemon in this battle. It's just, it's so incredible. And, you know, that's something we have to worry about. But we also got to focus on the present danger at hand, which is this Riperior. I think this was really the only play. And now we just have to hope that the coach is able to make the right read here. We have to get some big predictions in. And this is going to be a big one here. We'll see what the opponent wants to do.
It will tell us a lot, I think. We saw the willingness to sack the Hitmonlee earlier. I think it will tell us a lot if there's that same willingness to let this Riperior go down too. When there are very safe switches that can be made in terms of, Zapdos that's just not going to take any damage from this, even a Rillaboom into this spot. But I think it says a lot here that after Hitmonlee did what it needed to do, Uzi on the other side is like, you know what, that Riperior, don't need you anymore this battle, and free to let it go down.
Yeah, you're saying a lot of smart things, Tyler. And if I was going to use my years and years and years of competitive battling experience and, for better or worse, Draft League specific experience, I was there really from the beginning of Draft League. This is a strategy I've seen implemented many times. I've seen Uzi implement it many times. I've seen the Beneral implement it many times. This is a strategy where one thing happens next. And it is a setup sweep. You are there to disrupt. You're fine with those early Pokemon to go down. They are there to whittle down the correct Pokemon. And when the right Pokemon are whittled down, you bring in the Pokemon that sweeps. As the coach, I think he's playing with his, I thought he was angry throwing something against the wall. I think he's throwing a toy to his dog.
I think he's playing with Blossom, yeah.
Yeah, that is actually the best thing that could possibly happen.
That's good to see.
Possibly happen, as my voice is now dying on me. It's a dire spot. But if we look at the Pokemon we have remaining, we do have Greninja. We do have Greninja. So I was trying to see, is the Rillaboom what we should be worried about for what I said? Maybe not. We'll see what the coach does.
In a spot, thankfully that Riperior is still with us. This is going to be a very interesting turn. That's got to be Scarfed. I don't know what world that would have been. The thought, the plan. As twice now in this battle, we have seen sets that, John, I don't know that there would have been any world to prep for lead Hitmonlee and choice Scarfed Rillaboom to take out the Superior.
Yeah, no, not what. Am I insane that there's a priority grass move Rillaboom gets, right?
There is, yes. Grassy Clyde. Just whole thing.
I mean, this is why I love Draft League. That's just really good prep. You wouldn't see it coming. I loved having Scarfers like that when I played. I hate that. I hate that spot. I hate seeing that. It's not what you expect. I mean, now you know you can bring in the Staraptor, and we will be able to outspeed it, which is beautiful. I do like this double as well. Okay, I was about to say, did he not switch? We know we now can outspeed the Rillaboom, but yeah, I was not expecting Scarf Rillaboom is. Oh my god!
They stay in.
Wow. Huh.
That's one of those plays that, as we've gotten to know and battle against Uzi, that's one of those just super aggressive Uzi plays where I think the potential con versus the pro, you look at the pro and it far outweighs what could have gone wrong there, going for the Wood Hammer and in theory hitting the wrong Pokemon. He's got enough alive on his side to where he could easily then switch around after. A super aggressive play, just keeping the foot on the gas right now. And somehow now we see, who would have thought coming into this battle? We talked about the threats, John, with the Dolphin that didn't even come. Darkrai has been sitting in the back the entire time. And it's Choice Scarf Rillaboom, which technically you could claim set up with the grassy terrain, just causing mayhem.
Yeah, I'm really thinking through it, man, and it's really frustrating. I really feel for the coach, you know. Uzi came with a strategy that was really built on disrupting and then being fine with a Pokemon to go down. And it's really tough to play against that. Because at that point, that could have just been a fantastic prediction by Uzi. That could also just be a numbers game of, well, Rillaboom's not going to be useful against the Staraptor. Well, I mean, actually, no, that was just an insanely aggressive play because this is helpful against the Bubby. That was just... Yeah. He was able to make that play. He doesn't need Rillaboom to win when he has things like Zapdos and other Pokemon in the back. It's crazy, you know. It was a team where there were so many positions where Uzi could play with house money. He played with it perfectly. Our coach was in a position where he had to make big plays to try to get back in the game. Yeah. And unfortunately, I mean, Uzi has just made the right prediction every single time without fail. And at this point, it's... I mean, we haven't even seen what Uzi brought to try to win. And that's the beauty of those disruptor Pokemon, Tyler. If you can actually make them work, if you can make a Hitmonlee set like that work, you don't miss the high jump kick and crash into a wall. This is the beauty of it. Now, we are seeing Battle Bond here, which is pretty beautiful. There are no more Scarfers on the other side. So, I mean, there is a chance, right? There is a chance here. I don't know the calcs, of course. We did hear that right before the battle, Greninja Surf was switched for Hydro Pump for a little extra damage. So, hey, where there's a will, there's a way. We're super effective into Glamora, into Zapdos. Can Darkrai take a Hydro Pump? Probably.
And there's still the rocks that are there as well to deal some more damage.
Yeah.
Depending on if we see Boots and Uzi, very well known for using a lot of Assault Vests, that we have not seen that as much as we would have expected in this battle so far.
And we do still have the...
Oh boy.
I was about to be like, we do still have the Star Raptor, am I right? But
you are right. Yeah, and we don't know the actual spreads. We just kind of estimate.
But you can
side.
You can always, you can do a little.
I don't think that Darkrai would have had any special defense investment if I had to guess.
Now, I think the chances of us OHKOing the Darkrai. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so now that I've done the calc, it does look like it would have had a chance to
I think you're right.
Yeah, no, even if it had max HP, it does look like it had a chance to OHKO, which it may not have.
It's hard to know how anything would have gone after that.
Yes.
We hadn't seen the Pokemon. We don't know if there's another random choice scarf thrown in there for some reason. But what a brutal way to see it come to an end.
It is a really brutal way. Now, actually, okay, I am seeing with my calc, there was a bit of a mistake there where I think that Life Orb was thrown on there, even though I told you not to do that. So I do think it would have been a roll if it was not a invested Darkrai. There's a very good chance it was an invested Darkrai, but it's one of those moments where I would have just liked to see it happen. There's always a chance for a crit.
Yeah, let's just find out.
You just want to find out, and so much of the story of this battle, of these last 2 seasons, it was Darkrai and Greninja. And to get to this point where things had just gone so awry, the opponent, fantastic prep, even better plays, really great predictions, and we're still at a point where Bubby has a chance, maybe not to clutch the battle, but at least give us a bit of hope at the end. That Hydro Pump miss. Devastating way to end the season. But you know what? It sometimes happens in draft, Tyler. It's brutal that it happened in the playoffs in a do or die situation, but unfortunately I've been here many times. I've had so many fantastic seasons of my own that end in the playoffs like this, whether it's I actually think the last time I did draft with the Beneral, we were a duo in a 2-person league. I think we may have lost in the playoffs after a really fun season to a crit. It happens. Damage rolls, crits, misses. And to this, of course, there was a lot more just the disruption of Hitmonlee. That was a lot more of the prep. The miss is not the tail, or it's not the tail of the battle. It is just more the salt in the wound, a really sad way to end the season where we couldn't even just hang our head high of, hey, we left it all out on the line. Bubby tried valiantly to take out the Darkrai. Bubby slipped on a banana peel and let the coach down. And, you know, before I toss it over to you and then eventually the coach for his final words, I just want to say I am so proud of this season, so proud of the coach. I've had so much fun with this. It's been great to have Bubby's Ultimate Battle League. We were so close last year, and you know, we were back with a chance to make the championship. The consistency has been tremendous. Very glad I get to do this and commentate with you. I'm very, very proud of the coach. I'm sad that a battle like this, just a wonky battle with a Hitmonlee set, you're never gonna predict. You give him 1,000 mock battles, he's not gonna see that set one time. Hats off to the opponent, just really frustrating over there, and it's tough.
Well, and 2 main things for me. One, shout out to the Beneral, not just for coaching this season, but to him and everybody that he brought in to help running this league from top to bottom. So much of that was the Beneral and putting this together, putting the rules in place, the format, everything that has been executed. So much of that has been Ben and the people that he's had helping him. So thank you to him. Thank you to everybody that's chipped into that. And the other thing, man, hats off to Uzi. Want to make sure that give him full flowers for the plan coming into this battle. We said it multiple times, but things that we just never would have expected to see executed. If there's anybody that was going to do it, it's Uzi. He is one of the best singles battlers on this planet. He has been for quite a bit now, and he's going to have the opportunity to go and compete for the first ever Bubble Championship. It feels painful to say that and play more, not have that opportunity, not have that chance to bring home the first crown. But a successful season nonetheless, top 3 seed in the playoffs. It stings to come up short. It does. It hurts to go through this again and end another season, John, without a trophy or a celebration to look back on what was another fantastic season from a results standpoint. But there's so little that we can complain about for the journey that we've been able to go on, not just with the coach, not just with Landon editing all of these, but everybody that's tuned into these week in and week out.
Absolutely. You said a lot of things I probably should have said, and that's why we do this together, because you are a true professional, and
I kind of cheat, you know.
Hey, I love everything about it. This has been a really incredible season. I'm so appreciative of everyone who helped make this a reality. I'm excited for the championship, regardless of who's in it. It's going to be exciting. We have 2 incredible opponents. Hopefully next season, Tyler. But I think we could talk for a long time. I think it's time to throw it over to our fearless leader, an incredible coach. I guess one final thing. Draft League was meant to mirror the NFL, and Tyler, we're both big fans of football. The NFL is made for battles like this to happen, where the top team goes in and just things don't go their way, you know? Like a player that's so reliable all of a sudden is fumbling or dropping the ball or, getting beaten in coverage, and it's just this one thing goes wrong and an entire season of work down the drain, and it's frustrating. It's not a 7-game series. It's not a VGC best 2 out of 3. And that's one of those tough things I want to highlight, where you see something like Hitmonlee, you have to tip your cap to the opponent. But it's also worth mentioning the worst part about this format is the worst part about the Professional Football League, and the best thing for some people, where sometimes it really just comes down to the most wonky thing, and it's not a best of 7. It's, there's no redos. It's, hey, the last Pokemon draft on the other team may ruin all of your plans. And that can be tough. It's draft, it's the beauty of it. It's also the tough thing of it. So I wanted to make a note of that, because it is. I've been here many times before. It's a tough feeling, but it's been a special season, and I'm excited to hear what the coach has to say.
Well, that sucked. That was easily one of the worst battles I've had, ever. That lead was very unfortunate. Great bring by Uzi. I didn't face a single Hitmonlee. I did face one because I requested it, but that was just an AV set. Focus Sash lead was very cool on his part. It can definitely just do damage and be annoying early, and it did exactly that. I mean, I knew it was reckless. I said into the microphone it was reckless because of that damage, because Superior lived every hit with my investment. So when he got nearly a max roll, I knew it was adamant reckless high jump kick, but I still swapped fearing Unburden after the Focus Sash. Like, I didn't even think about Mach Punch, which definitely obviously could have been potential, but that wasn't in my reasoning. I just completely messed up. Unfortunately, I had like 3 hours of sleep last night. I kind of injured my back this weekend, and I didn't get much sleep. So that really sucked, because I still had a long day of work and then came to this. And then I have a work trip flight tomorrow morning in like 9 hours. So hopefully I can get more sleep now that I'm not stressed about finals. But no, it is what it is. And to speak on the Hydro Pump miss, he was max HP Darkrai. He likes his fat Darkrai. So that miss didn't matter. What mattered was me throwing away the Overcoil and not getting my 2 layers of hazards, because he was just an offensive Scarf Zapdos, which Greninja obviously outsped still, and then killed because he took the Stealth Rocks. Obviously, if he Mortal Spun with Glamora at any moment, then those hazards would have been gone. But if I could have kept it up and get Greninja out there, it could have been better. So that Hitmonlee lead was just so good on his part. Uzi always has, those few things that catch people off guard. Double Scarf into my team, definitely wouldn't have expected that. I know my team is fast compared to his, but you have Darkrai and you have the priority Grassy Glide. I think 1 Scarf I definitely would have expected a bit, but it is what it is, man. Like I said, I didn't think the matchup was in my favor anyways, and then I tried to catch him on the double against either Staraptor or 4 Staraptor for Glamora or Zapdos to come in, and bro just stayed in. He knew he didn't need to switch because he had Scarf Zapdos, so that makes sense now in hindsight. But I was just like, that's the only thing I could do, because if he went into Glamora and Toxic Debris went up, then Greninja 100% loses. That's all it really comes down to there, because I'm not able to counter anything then. And my focus sash is going to be gone, and Riboom just kills me, assuming it's swapped out. Because he's still going to have grass. Here, I can double check. But he probably still had Grassy Glide, even if he was Scarf. He didn't have Grassy Glide. Either way, I stand by my play. I just played to the outs I had, which was really none, because that lead unfortunately screwed me over a lot. I mean, I don't think there was anything really different in my prep. Like, I guess a lead overkill would have put me in a better scenario there. And then I would just lead overkill, start pressuring with Riperior instead. And then be able to use Iron Treads to deal with the Glamora, but he was even Life Orb and stuff like that. So, I don't know. It would have been extremely tough. He prepped nicely per usual. Even though I expected some things, obviously there was things that I did not expect at all. So that's that. Yeah, and I mean, that's it for that game. I don't know what else to say about that. GG's to Uzi, just another Uzi Joey finals, whoop-de-doo. Yeah, I definitely wish I could have made it to finals for y'all, get back-to-back, but it would have been tough nonetheless. I've been kind of overwhelmed lately with work, but it's whatever. The team felt fine. It was fun. I don't think it was one of my best teams by any means. I know some people might have felt differently. The Terras were really sick. I loved my Terra captains. It was a lot of fun. Greninja is not worth a 5th overall draft pick, or 6th, whatever spot I was. Not worth it. No, I should have went Terapagos like I somewhat wanted, but I really wanted to get Greninja just to get the frog for the season, and I convinced John. Definitely wish I went Terapagos, to be completely honest. Especially on Wi-Fi, when you can't really gen in the correct language for Greninja because of how Battle Bond is. It just gives away what form you are every single week. Because you can't even bring it in as Protean and change it. You can't bring it as Battle Bond and change it to a different ability. The game just doesn't let you do that. So, definitely better on your Showdown draft leagues if you want to use Greninja. But he's definitely still got plenty of merit. I love the frog to death. He was still our MVP. But I definitely wish I went with something else first overall, to be completely honest. Iron Treads was okay once again. I don't think it was like I didn't use it the best this season. But it's still a really good mon. Dragonite, I really wish I was able to use more. I actually almost brought a Dragon Dance Scale Shot set to this game. I really wish I had it now. Because that actually would have destroyed his team if I got rid of the Riperior first. I'm sure Darkrai ate, once again, even with max HP. But boy, Superior and Volcanion, highly recommend with Terra Captains. They're really good. And then just to speak on the whole missing moves this season, I knew I would have to click Leaf Storm a lot with Superior. That's what you get when you draft Superior. And when you draft Greninja, you have to click Hydro Pump every now and then. You just have to. When it came down to the Gunk Shot and Mega Horn or whatever random thing I missed from time to time, that's just matchup specific. But for everyone that said if it's not 100% accurate, it's 50% accurate, you're bad at Pokemon. I'm just gonna say it. Like, you have to run those moves for specific matchups. You cannot win without them, but you also lose with them. Like, it's just plain and simple is what it comes down to. It's the game of Pokemon, brother. Like, I don't know how to tell it to you any different. Kind of crazy I never used Glare on Superior. I was actually very close to bringing it this time, but I opted for Specs. I want to use Superior again, man. Like, I understand there's always the gambling aspect, but it's like, it's so fun with Terra. Just actually being able to break through, like, entire teams. Definitely used it more in the later half of the season compared to Volcanion in the earlier half of Terra, but Volcanion was so good, man. I definitely think it's the best with Terra, but it's still really good this generation, even without Terra, and I stand by that. Just having a water immunity against a lot of these top tier waters in draft is big. That's why it's more abusive with Terra, because then you can just become any typing and then still have the water immunity, which is just wild. But Overquill, absolutely great. Screamtail, I don't know if I'll use Screamtail again. I don't know if it was just like this team or if I didn't use it properly, but too passive for my taste. It's impossible to get the right 4 moves every week. It feels like, at least, unless you're just like a screens variant. Otherwise, you definitely just want to be, like Wish, Protect, Dazzling Gleam, and then Encore. And then you can't even fit your Stealth Rocks on it, which isn't great, because I also didn't have the best mon to always have other rocks on in Iron Treads. Like, typically he does like the Assault Vest and other variants, but definitely made it a little bit harder. But I mean, and then everyone always preps for Encore, but at least it forces the prep. And like the speed is good, the booster energy potential is great. Like, it's a good Pokemon. I just don't know if it's me. I'm too Clefairy pilled, let's be honest. And then Staraptor, it was nice to use Staraptor. Unfortunately, Homie didn't get a single kill this season. I probably should just click Close Combat just to kill the Darkrai, so I could get one. Probably would have low rolled anyways, but it's okay. He still did work when he needed to in the matchups. I like to count that final Gambit into Lando as a kill. You can be very clear there. But it's just not as strong. I definitely struggle with these last 3 picks. Aleki I still hope to use again one day though. Just the elite speed potential and mainly just the rapid spin, because everyone wants to go into their ground type and you just get the rapid spin for free and you get up screens. Definitely wish I could have used it more like that, but once again I just felt like I was so constricted into my top 7 with this team. And then Alolan Golem. I still want to use him with Terra. I'm very sad I couldn't use him with Terra, but at least he came to 2 matches and he got some kills. So he was able to do something for the team. So I was able to use all my mons at least. Not necessarily to their best effectiveness, which is funny because I didn't even have like a crazy MVP. Greninja obviously led, and it was in like just outside the top 5 for MVPs across the league for the regular season. But my team was like very balanced on who got the kills throughout the season. So it was interesting. It was a fun team. I wouldn't say it was a good team, or at least not a great team. It was a good team. It wasn't a great team. And I'm not blaming them at all by any means. Like I understood and I learned the team at one point, and you could see it when I used Riperior more. But it was more so, it's not the playstyle I want to do every week. I found it really difficult. I couldn't even find weeks where I could fit like bulky Dragonite more and stuff like that. So, but I do recommend Overquill, Terra Superior, Terra Volcanion. Always use Iron Treads if you haven't used it, just because it's a really good mon. Greninja on Showdown leagues. And everyone should always use Dragonite. Dragonite is the GOAT. Nickname, word for word, bar for bar. Aleki haters can calm down, they just gotta use it. It's more utility than it is more offensive potential. Even though I didn't do that. Staraptor I don't think is him. I just don't think anymore at this point. Like, I needed it for the team with the speed tier, the Choice Scarf potential, the physical breaking potential, because I was so specially based. But I think it's difficult in this generation, to be plain and simple. There's just faster Choice Scarfers nowadays. That will likely come anyways, and Stealth Rocks are so easy to get up. And then Alolan Golem I do recommend. Specifically get it with Terra though. It's definitely going to be a lot more fun with Terra. Especially in like a low tier league. But it's a good value mon, especially if you get it for 1 point, which was crazy. My tiers on purpose. But you still get decent value at 2 point, but yeah, I'll leave it up to you. Team was very fun though. I'm rambling. I have a feeling they're going to include this just so the battle lasts a little bit longer. By the battle, I mean the video. So, that being said, thank you guys for a great season. It was a lot of fun. I definitely wish we could have done a little bit more for the Bubble season, but Bubble will return in the future. It will. As for when, to be determined. As for sure, you'll see us in Champions. I best believe that, baby. But thank you guys so much. Once again, I am going to be doing a season underplay more, but just on my channel. That actually should be starting up like within the next week or a few days, or already got my draft analysis up by the time this video goes up. I genuinely don't remember. But I have a fun team there for PPL Season 5. It's going to be pretty interesting. I just don't want to get rusty again like how I was at the start of this season. I want to keep playing even if it's not going to be for a main channel for Play More. Obviously, because John and the team have to focus on Legends ZA and really enjoy that. I'm going to enjoy it as well when I'm not battling. But I just want to try. I wanted to try new things and still, continuously play draft. So I kind of realized it's not as much as a fun league as I was hoping after seeing some of these drafts. But I'm still excited to do it, and I hope you guys go over there, subscribe, and watch me upload each week. It's definitely going to be, obviously, not as high-scaled in the graphics and editing, but then more informative with my commentary and a lot nerdier. So if you guys really enjoy Draft League and want to see that, please go over to my channel. I'd appreciate it. But, I'll see you guys in next time on this channel, whenever that is, if you don't see you there. So, appreciate y'all very much. Goodbye, Swamp.